Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week. Joining me as always on a Monday, maybe Elvis himself. Marky, how are we?
I'm all good, cuz. How are you keeping?
I'm keeping very well. I suppose we have to give a shout out to one of our subscribers and one of our friends of the show, very close friends of the show, Marta Shortall. Congratulations. Now, in future, to be
Fair
known
play,
as
Morris.
Councillor Shortall. So there
Yes,
you go.
yes.
So looking forward to that. So
Congratulations,
Morris,
Morris. Fair play to you.
yeah, I don't know whether he's in the chat or not, but he was declared there. I think it was either this morning or yesterday evening, very late. But congratulations. What started out as a bit of crack, he's done absolutely brilliant. And I think for the last 8 weeks, he's been campaigning like a Trojan. So fair play to him and congratulations, Morris. Well
Absolutely,
deserved.
man.
Serious shift put in to do
Delighted for
this
you.
now. So delighted for Morris. There you go.
Kilkenny
We'd rather
won't know
go over
what
there.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. Castle Calmer now, though. Castle
Castle
Calmer.
Calmer all the way,
There
baby.
you go. Right, so before we begin, of course, a shout out to our sponsor. And Mark, you have some news about the Legends game this weekend coming up in Longford.
Yeah, I'm going to be down in Longford, obviously this Saturday for the Legends game against Longford Legends to celebrate 100 years of the club down there in the Bishopgate Stadium. There's a meet and greet on Saturday morning. I think it's around 11:30 or 12, and then the match is on at 3:30. But Manchester United legend that was announced there literally 2 hours ago or so, that's going to be playing on Saturday, which I'm looking forward to, is a certain Andrew Cole is going to be there on Saturday.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that. I was only saying it to Nicole there, chatting, saying I was only watching them on the overlap there a few weeks. I remember Wazza was on
Yeah,
it with him and Keano and all, and it'd be another name to add to my 99
yeah,
jersey as well. So I can't wait to go down and meet him. And Quinta Fortune's going to
yeah,
be there. I haven't met him before. Eric Jemba and stuff. So there's quite a few players that are over that I haven't met. And Mike Phelan's coming over, of course, as well. He's going
nice.
to be managing the Legends team
Yeah,
as well. And
yeah.
so, yeah, no, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, Mike's a real footballer, man, isn't he? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
How are
Brown.
the goalkeepers feeling about Andrew Cole being announced?
I know, yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, and I was talking to Browner last week, and I said Browner, like, Longford are going for this. They've announced some really good players, and obviously, no offense to some of the United players, but some of the players that they have announced have only sort of retired. Some of them have, so they'll be still in good nick, like that sort of way.
Yeah.
So should be an interesting game. Looking forward to it, But Andy
Did, did
Cole
they
and
did they did they did they announce their retirement so they could be in the Legends game
in
and
the
then
game,
come back
yeah,
out of
yeah, yeah.
retirement after kind
It's
of thing? Yeah.
funny. It's funny. Like, I know one of the two of the lads that are going to be on it. Like, Willie Tyrrell. I was in college with him. We were on the college football team together. Then he went to play for Bray. I actually played against him when I was with Dublin City.
Great club.
So yeah. I haven't up to Bray. I haven't seen him. In years. So I'm looking forward to catching up with Will over the weekend. And I think John Lester's meant to be down there. I only met John at Christmas there and stuff like that. But yeah, and Mike Phelan, I think, is actually doing a coaching seminar down in. Is that? I think it's over the the Irish Sports Place in Abbottstown there, not the FAI, but the Sports Centre. I think he's doing a
Yes.
coaching seminar there on Monday, I think, as well. So it'd be
Very good.
interesting to see, But yeah, no,
Yeah.
really looking forward to it. It should be a good day. I was only texting Brown earlier, so I'm going to be down there from early with the trophy, get a few things signed, get a few pictures with the lads, and hopefully get a few shout outs for the channel as well,
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. Yeah. I'd love to hear from Mike, actually. I'd love to hear from Mike. Tell
Do you know
him how
what?
many years he broke my heart,
But like you look at the respect the likes of like Cristiano Ronaldo and have for him, and obviously I remember going off to Old Trafford watching him as a player. He was, he wasn't the best of that kind of that bunch, but what he achieved and to work under Sir Alex as long as he did is unbelievable. And like, I can't wait to just sit down and have a chat with him on Saturday, if I'm being honest with you, if I can
Yeah, absolutely.
get a few minutes with him,
Yeah, and so look, it's great to always catch up with those guys. It doesn't even matter whether you're a Manchester United fan or not. You know what I mean? They're just
Yeah,
these are still legends. Whether you followed them or you didn't follow them, they either melted your heart or they broke it, one way or
exactly.
another.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So,
like
but
it's
huge respect for all those guys back then and all.
100%. Because like I don't know if the lads in the chat, I know you probably did, watch the 99 documentary and stuff. And
Yeah,
I thought I sat here last Saturday night watching it, and it really brought me back to to back in the day and the good old days. But to be able to meet players that have been a part of that, I'm going to be meeting Andy Cole, and I've already had points with Dennis Earl, met Yap Stan, Wes Brown,
Yeah.
David May, all these players. It's unbelievable, and
And
just
it's great to watch that, isn't it? And then go do this. Like, it's so cool because everything then's real fresh in your mind again.
Exactly, and like you get little nuggets off them and stuff like that. And like I remember myself, like I've said it on here before. Myself, Browner, me mate Billy, Clayton Blackmore, and Dennis, the five of us sitting around the table drinking pints of Guinness, just shooting the breeze, hearing stories. Like me and Billy were just sitting back on. Like this is like schoolboy stuff for dreams. Like going, I remember these as kids, and it's just amazing. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Saturday. There's obviously a big one coming up on Saturday, August the 3rd in Ballyfermot. Ballyfermot United and Ballyfermot United supporters group have got together and they're playing against the Legends. And the first legend was announced last week, and that is a certain Yap Stam is going to be here for that one as well. So that's going to be like Browner said on this, that's going to be one of the big games. That one is,
Absolutely. Give us a rundown on the trophies. Where so go and all the usual.
So lads, we're on. Follow me on Instagram, like and follow on Facebook. You can get me on WhatsApp. Any occasion coming up, let us know. Like I said, we have the United events coming up. We're in Longford on Saturday, Letterkenny on the end of July, and then big one in Ballyfermot on August the 3rd to finish off the 4 games over the year. And there might be another event in between that, which I can't go into too much detail about. There's still finalising a few things on that one. So, but if you have any events coming up and you want the trophies there, lads, endorsed by the Manchester United legends and stuff. So get on all the socials and give us a like and a follow, Actually, it's funny because the last few weeks, Rowan, obviously who works with me, will tell you this. I'm getting messages from England, like all over England. And last week we were standing there. We were heading out to Leeslip to see an Abbott tribute, actually. That's another story. But we were standing at the bus stop on the Keys, and I get this message. I'm just looking for a price for the trophies, and I always say, like, where are you based? Your man was in Blackpool.
There you go.
One of my favourite places. So we're getting a lot from England. But yeah, we're no plans to do a tour over there at the minute, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you give Mark a follow over there and all that kind of good stuff that we need you to support us. Let's get into the chat for a second. Daz is in. What's the crack, Niall and Dark? Or Mark? Niall, is Mark joining? Daz has set up a fantasy league for the Euros. I think I sent everyone on the pin. Did I send you on the pin?
I didn't get no.
Okay, if not, I'll send it on to you after this. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll have a look into it.
Send it on. And anyone else, and Daz, if you want to drop it into the chat there, anyone who wants to join, there's no problem. Throw it in there, man, if you want.
Bit of interest.
Ineos Facers, big up. Ineos waiting for Southgate manager point. We're going to be talking about that tonight. Is Mike Phelan bringing over the balloons?
Yeah, that was unreal, wasn't it?
David's in. Big up, David. Evening, lads.
Baby.
And Andrew's in as well. Andrew's super excited this week. He's heading over to Clash at the Castle at the end of the week, so he's really looking forward to that. Whoa.
Get the red carpet out. Get the red carpet out.
What's the story with you? You're not just going to drop into the chat tonight, right? So you better be available and have a pair of earphones, right? Because there's the link. You're not getting off that easy, pal.
Will he have the big chain on him and all now that he's been elected and stuff?
Could have the big chain and all, yeah. The mayor's chain, the whole lot could be on him, to be honest. Who knows? Morris, put up that link there, my friend. You're not getting off that easy. You're not just going to like drop into the chat like that and act like it's now Biggie and all that kind of thing, you know? Going to have a bit of a Diddy party, you know? No Diddy party here tonight, you know? Daz, big up, Morris. David's in. Yap Stam or Derek Hogan. They've never been in the same room.
True. That's very true, cuz.
Round's in. Can't beat a bit of Abbott. Round. Give over now. Give over.
I'll tell you, lads, we went down to the Salmon Leap and League Slip. They have a festival every year from Friday to Monday. And I'm telling you, lads, if you haven't been, go next year. It's unbelievable. Rob, tell them what it's. We went down to see Ab on the Friday night and the place was absolute buzzing. It was. Great night it was.
I was out for Ian. It was Ian's 40th on Saturday, so we were in the Harbour Bar in Bray. It was good crack. There was a band playing and stuff like that. And
I sent him a message actually yesterday, say happy birthday.
Yeah, so we had a good night. We were down on points and shots and all, but real throwback to our nights out before and stuff like that. So we had a
You
good
can't
time.
beat
So
it.
happy
You can't beat
birthday, happy birthday from everyone here at the upper tier. The man who started me on the
it. You know.
podcast journey, So happy birthday to if you're tuning in. I'll wait for the kiddos to sleep, maybe top of the hour. Okay, I'll be watching for you. Don't let me down now. You cannot let me off that easy. Right, before we begin, let's start with we'll start with the Euros because we were going to cover it. Do you like my card round background as well for the week
Yeah,
that's
I've
in it?
seen that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I'll just take
I
that
have a
out there
feeling
again for a
something's coming
second.
up.
There,
Yeah,
nice little courtroom, So I
I have
thought
a
the week
feeling
that's in
something's
it.
coming up. All
So
right,
we'd
you
have
know.
right. Darren gave us the rundown on his picks on Thursday night. There, obviously you didn't get on last week; you were caught up. So, give us your rundown on your picks for each group. Who's first and second in your mind? And also on Thursday, I'll be doing a show with Darren, and we're going to have a good section on there for beat the bookie for the Euros, but just kind of different
Yeah,
bets because obviously those winning bets, there's no
yeah.
value in them at all. So we'll
Mm.
put together something. So let's kick it off then with the Euros. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, obviously Group A, big game now on Friday, kicking off Germany and Scotland. Um, like Scotland are in a position where we love to be, that going over there. They've a massive support. They
Yeah.
really get behind the team and stuff like that. And you're seeing the images of Robbo leading the team out. I think he's the most capped captain, isn't he, or something like that? And he was there with
Injured,
his daughter
injured
the
today
other
in
night.
training. Injured today in
Was he?
training.
Was he?
Yeah, stepped out of
That'd be a
training
big
today,
blow.
injured. So
That'd
that'll
be
be
a
a
big
blow if
blow.
he's not available. Yeah,
Be a blow. Obviously, is Tierney fit, or they might have to throw him in? And usually they play
that's that.
three.
Yeah,
But it's going to be a massive game. Very tough group for Scotland. Switzerland are going to be dangerous. Obviously, they have a lad that we know quite well, Noah Okafor and stuff there, and Hungary could
mm.
cause an upset here or there. But you would expect Germany to top the group. You'd like to see Scotland do it, but I think it's going to be Germany and Switzerland coming out of that group.
That's what you're thinking for. Yeah, I think Darren was the
Yeah.
same. But yeah, we'd love Scotland to continue on. Like we're
Like,
big fans of Stevie Clark and all, and
um,
so
now, like, do you know what? Just seeing, like, it'd be a sea of like kilts and wait.
yeah,
There'd be some rendition of Flower of Scotland on Friday evening, when
mm,
it kicks off. So, you'd love to be over there as a fan and soaking in the atmosphere. But
mm,
unfortunately, I just think, you know, you can see Germany beating them, but if they can get something against Hungary and maybe sneak a draw against Switzerland, it could
yeah.
open the group up slightly. But yeah, I could see Germany
Yeah,
and Switzerland coming through.
bit of belief there and go out, go out and don't play with any fear and stuff like that. Go out there and have a go off them. The one thing you'll find about Germany as well, if you match them with physicality, they don't tend to like that, and that's where it can actually work in your favour and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I think
exactly. Yeah.
Scotland could have a big point to prove here, and they've got some really good footballers on that Scottish side as well. So
They do, and you look at
nothing to
me.
fear at
John
all,
McGinn has had a fantastic season at Aston Villa
Mm,
as well, and we talk about Robbo and stuff like that. But like they have good experience there. Like the lads are together a good few years, and even the younger
yeah.
lads that have come through and stuff like that. So they'll make it difficult for teams.
Scott's there as well, didn't he? Scott McTominay.
Yeah, Matt,
Yeah.
he's been unreal. Like in the qualifiers, the amount of goals he got for Scotland, he plays in that little bit
Mm,
of a freer role and stuff, and like he can play in defence if needs be and stuff. We've seen it with him before for Scotland, so he's
yeah.
that kind of all round player for them.
Yeah, he plays that more natural role that he started out playing at United, didn't he, in the
Yeah,
academy? Like so,
sure. Remember, he got
maybe.
two against Cyprus away, and then he got two in
Mm,
Hampden Park against someone. I can't remember who it was within a few weeks.
yeah, absolutely. Aces Glasgow will be bouncing on Friday night with SmackDown Live at 7 and Germany versus Scotland at 8. Yeah, absolutely.
Here, did I see something? Did they release some Rangers jersey or something for that clash at the castle or something like that?
Now they released a jersey that's like a Rangers jersey for it. Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
seeing a
But
picture of it online, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I couldn't see Noel getting that in the shop.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I wouldn't have thought so. Darren might get it. Being a big fan of Scottish football, though, but I doubt it somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did, and something was posted up about it. Going, I can't see this selling much. So we'll see, folks. There's the code for the Euros. So get on it and
Yes.
make sure you join Daz's
That's
league.
what
It's there
I'll
for you and
join
stuff
in
like
there,
that,
yeah,
right?
100%.
So make sure you are on it, folks. Right, Group
Uh,
B: Spain,
yeah, Group.
Croatia, Italy, and Albania.
Well, we can obviously rule it. One of the teams out there already, Albania. It's going to be between Spain, Croatia, and Italy. It's going to be tough. Italy, in fairness, I have them in a sweepstakes, so I'm kind of hoping. I had them the last time round. I had Denmark and Italy, and obviously they were both playing in opposite semi-finals, and Italy got there and eventually won on penalties. But I'm obviously hoping Italy will do. Croatia are going to cause massive problems as well. But I fancy Spain and Italy.
Yeah.
It
The only
depends. It
thing,
depends.
the only thing going against Spain is they lack that experience now, don't they? They're a very young side. They've
Yeah,
lost a lot of the old stalwart and stuff like that, you know. So
and in fairness, I think Italy are lacking a natural goal scorer as well, if I'm being honest. So they'll have to find goals from elsewhere. But yeah,
mm,
I'd say Spain and Italy. I'm going for that one.
yeah. Group C: Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England.
Yeah, again, it's gonna be a tricky one. You know, the Serbia will cause problems. Slovenia will cause problems for the likes of Denmark and England. But obviously, I can see Denmark have been on a little bit of a run lately. They have obviously Rasmus up front, and they've a bit of experience there. Ericsson scored a cracking goal there the other week in a friendly. But Serbia are strong as well. So, but I'm just gonna say Denmark and Italy in that one. Or sorry, England and Denmark. Denmark and I've Italy and the blind.
What did you make of the Iceland game? Was a quite a poor performance and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
obviously, we'll talk about the Saka stuff in a little while and stuff like that. Very unfair, really. The typical British press and British media. You know what I mean?
Ah,
Always
yeah,
looking
big
for a
time.
scapegoat.
And do you
You know.
see who was added to the squad today?
Tom Heaton as a coach.
Heaton. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
in a
that was a good
coaching
move.
capacity, wasn't it? Coaching capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good move, bringing his experience over there to the lads. You know, I know Ramsdale was getting a bit of stick for the goal that went in, but obviously there was a lot of power behind it. Maybe he could have done better, but you know yourself,
Yeah, I think though,
he
in
hasn't had
fairness,
the greatest.
there was there was plenty of mistakes before they even got as far as Ramsdale, to be
Oh
honest.
yeah,
Stones and
100%.
everything, you
Like,
know.
but
So
I think it was just highlighted more because he hadn't played many minutes for Arsenal this season. You know that sort of
yeah,
way. So it's obviously going to be
absolutely.
highlighted more. You know, but
Yeah.
yeah, I could see England and Denmark coming out there.
Mm.
Then going on to Group D. Another listen, it's a weird one. You always look at these groups and you think that Holland would automatically, like say Holland and France, but they always make it difficult for themselves in these tournaments. Holland do, you know. They haven't had much luck over the last few years in terms, you know. There's been some tournaments they haven't even qualified for, you know. Um, Poland are gonna Poland. Yeah, look, I could see France topping the group, and for me, it'd be between Holland and Poland then as well.
Yeah, just
To
to let you
finish
know, the
second.
Netherlands tonight are 2-0 up. Xavi Simmons and Virgil van Dijk scoring. And
Van
Poland are
Dijk,
1-0 up. Yeah, and Poland are 1-0 up against Turkey as well at the moment. About 77 and 74 minutes gone.
nice.
Swadeski, I think, is the guy who got the goal for Poland. So should be interesting. I'd like to see the Dutch do well. I think I do. I like the way they've got such a good following as well
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff like that.
definitely,
You know,
definitely. Like I love
like
to see it, and it's always quite colourful when they're playing all the orange around the stadium. And when I think about the Dutch team, it always takes me back to USA '94. Do you remember Bergkamp and stuff like that? And
mm,
obviously, you can go back to as far as Euro '88 and Italia '90. But it was just
yeah.
that Nike, the orange Nike kitten. Oh, just yeah, brings back some good memories.
Iceland love a win over England. They do, and it was mad
You,
the other night. Did you see them? They just kept on replaying the Steve
yeah,
McLaren, was it? The
Lauren.
Steve
Yeah,
McLaren clip,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
You
And it was
thought you were
just,
comfortable and all, and
oh
yeah.
man, that's
Actually,
priceless.
there's one thing for you and Dazzler to do as well. Have you reviewed the jerseys for the Euros yet?
Not for the Euros. We'll probably do the ones for the Prem next week or the week after when the
Yeah,
fixtures
some
come out, I'd
nice
say
ones
so.
out for the Euros. The French one is nice with
Yeah.
the old school crest and stuff on it. You know.
Yeah. The English one is like the navy, is it, with the gold? Is it the
Yeah.
second or third kit or second kit, is it,
That's
or
it.
something?
That's the away kit. Yeah. They
Yeah.
were wearing the other
That
night. Yeah.
that's a decent one now. I like the look of that one, all right. Group E: Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. Probably
Yeah,
the most open group, is it?
yeah. It would be 100%. Out of all the teams there, the one that obviously stands out for me at the moment is Belgium with the experience they have and some quality players in there. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne and stuff like that. But then it's like just throw a dart or toss a coin and for Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. You know, um,
What you make of them not taking big players, the likes of Courtois and gone just after
seeing
winning
that,
the
yeah,
Champions League? been out for
Yeah,
most of the season, obviously. So
yeah. I was just gonna say that he hasn't been really he hasn't got he was just unlucky with injuries. You know what happens. He's been a big player for them in the past, but I don't like you look at Ukraine and Romania, Slovakia. It's gonna be tight there. Like you could see maybe one of those teams maybe even going through in goal difference or something like that. It's gonna be that tight, I reckon. They're in Group B, but I think Belgium will top it without a doubt.
yeah, Donnell Mallon has just made it 3-0 to the Netherlands.
3-0.
Yeah, so they are going into the tournament in good form.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's against an Iceland team that could have beaten England the other night 3-0 with a couple of
yeah.
one-on-ones that they missed as well. Ted's in,
Absolutely.
big up Ted. We go crack with Ted the other
Hell
night at the
yeah, Ted.
40. I think Ireland's Euro kit looks great. Oh, wait. Ted,
Well, we're playing
that
Portugal
mate.
tomorrow. They'll probably wear
That'll
the
be a
away
good game,
the
mate.
white jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. So Group F then, Turkey, Georgia, Portugal, and Czech.
Yeah, obviously you're looking at Portugal, Czech, and Turkey there. Obviously, per Georgia. I'd like to see do well because obviously my daughter's called Georgia. Um, I think Portugal will probably top it, and I think Czech Republic will probably finish second. Um, Turkey, they haven't really like obviously I watch a lot of Turkish football, and like there's some of the players they used to have years ago that they're not bringing that talent through really that much. Obviously, we have a Bayindur ourselves who could be going elsewhere. He thought he was coming into us as number one, but I reckon Portugal and Czech Republic will get out of that group.
It's just gone 4-0 to Holland. Memphis deploy at
Memphis.
the fort.
Who,
Yeah, so goals coming from everywhere.
who say?
You'll recognise him now because he has the corn rolls and the big white headband on him and all. So you won't miss him on the pitch, that's for sure. But and Turkey have just equalised against Poland as well, and it's Yilmaz with the equaliser on 77 minutes. So two really interesting games there. Obviously, Iceland getting slapped up by Holland, but
And
Poland
come
and
here.
Turkey won all.
Were you and Dazzler's pick similar to myself, or was there anyone that jumping out at you that?
Yeah, there was pretty similar. I think I didn't think I'm not looking at any shocks at the moment. Obviously, with Spain, Croatia, Italy, you might get
Mm,
something there.
mm.
Obviously, the first group, if Hungary were to show up, who knows? Um, the England group could be tasty enough, obviously, with Denmark and Serbia there, but you would expect England to have enough to go through. But
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
you could have sometimes where those are, you're going into a tournament, you're badged as a favourite. You haven't had great preparation. He's had an interesting squad that he's picked. Obviously, he's left some key players out and gone with flavors of the month, if you like, and stuff like that
Yeah,
and all. And they just haven't meshed together and stuff like that. You seen them against Iceland. It'll be interesting to see. I think they one more warm up game. I think
yeah,
I'm not too sure. I think they have. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And then, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Interesting to see. But you could get a few shocks on the card. I'm not expecting another Greece situation or something like that. But who knows? Depends. And the draw can be everything in this and stuff like that. You can get the look of the draw now. Portugal for
exactly.
me would be the outside upset for me would be Portugal. I mean, obviously you've got England and France there, who should deliver, and obviously England will want to deliver, especially after that disappointing game against Iceland and stuff like that. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
but yeah, it doesn't help that your media's going in on you and everything straight away, So, um,
Czech
but yeah,
Republic won earlier anyway, 2-1 against Macedonia. It's just seeing some of the results coming up here now.
yeah, absolutely. So that's your picks anyway. So let's get on then and let's talk about this situation at Manchester United. I'll take some comments first. 4-0 to Holland, don't they know this isn't the Euros yet and they're using up all their goals? Absolutely. And rounds in. Don't think Italy make it out of the group.
Deedles, come on. I have them in the sweepstake.
Yeah, pretty poor team. And Ian's in, what's the crack, lads? All good, my friend. Talk to me about this United situation at the moment. Obviously, in the transfer window, I find before the transfer window opens, it can be very jarring because you're getting
Mm.
linked with everyone, and it's like as if you're replacing the whole team because you're linked with
Yeah.
every player who's available from every position and stuff like that. So it gets pretty frustrating at times. 3-0 to Holland, the goal was ruled out, the Depoy goal. That's just updating us there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so talk to me about this managerial position mainly. Like you've got Ineos are doing this review, which seems to be dragging on, and I don't know whether they're waiting for the euphoria of the FA Cup win to die down, so it might
Mm,
be easier when the decision is made than if you kind of let the manager go right on the back of the FA Cup win. It kind of leaves a bad taste in the
mm,
fan base and everything. But there's a lot of the fan base at the moment are coming out going, what's happening here? What's Ineos doing? They're getting a bit
yeah.
frustrated with Ineos' lack of decisiveness, if you like. We know they've had a chat with Tuchel.
And
Tuchel's decided to go on holidays. Poch, I believe, has been in the running. Southgate is in the running. De Zerbi's in the running. Poch has taken himself out of the running. They're clearly looking for a coach,
yeah.
not necessarily a manager, because that's the structure that you're putting in. What's your gut feeling on this? Where's this going to go? Who do you think's going to end up in the seat and all that kind of thing?
Well, firstly, I think it lacks a bit of class. If I'm being honest with you, I think what they're doing totally
Yeah.
lacks class. Like you have Ten Hag there. You either stick with him or you twist. If you're sticking with him, let him know. If you're twisting, let him know. Immediately. I think all this talk of obviously Tuchel and Poch. If you're Ten Hag, you're sitting back there going like that. They must be trying to exercise all their options before they let me know what the story is. So he's probably feeling a bit unwanted, that type of way. Which yeah, I totally agree with you there, Ted. But I just think the whole situation is a bit like Tuchel and Poch, right? The reason they've left close before is because they haven't been able to have full control over the team and stuff. And Ineos have come in straight away and says, like, we're going to have say on transfers, this, that, and the other. So something like that was never going to work anyway. And I didn't want Tuchel or Poch, if I'm being quite honest with you. I think they should um, give him the summer, give him up, give him the season ahead, get rid of some players like you hear talks of Sancho going for 40 million and stuff like that, which I snap Dortmund's hand off at this stage for that, and obviously we've gotten the likes of Varane and Martial off the books, and there's talks of Casemiro going as well. So give him the summer, give him some money. Obviously, with financial fair play, we had to get rid of players to bring players in, and Ineos are given a certain amount of money, and they'll have a certain amount of say in the transfers. And I think, listen, we've talked about the injuries here this season, and having to shoehorn. Dallo was playing left full, Wan-Bissaka playing left full at times, and we have an agent, Johnny Evans, playing at centre half. He only came to us at pre-season to keep fit and train, and he obviously he impressed Ten Hag enough to give him a contract, and Ten Hag probably thought at the start of the season, we might get him in for some League Cup games, or might get him, get him on the end of for 10, 15 minutes in certain matches. But we've had to rely on Johnny Evans a hell of a lot this season, and he wasn't expecting that. But those are the injuries that has happened. And one thing I will say as well is that Ineos have come in and said that they want to start out the backroom staff, the above before they even reach Ten Hag, and obviously the Ashworth situation hasn't been dealt with yet. Your man coming in from City's not coming into July and stuff like that. So all that needs to be sorted as well, in my opinion, before any talk of any manager. But for me, I'd stick with Ten Hag. He said, he still has a 58%, 58 point something percent I was looking at earlier, win ratio with us. He's gotten two cups in the last 2 seasons. Yes, this season has been a struggle. Some of the results and the performance have been well, but you look at the players. A lot of that comes down to the players. The players have decided when they want to show up this season. Obviously the manager's there to motivate the players, but he's had a lot to deal with as well with the Greenwood situation. Like someone just Ace has just mentioned Greenwood there. Obviously Sancho, that situation had a
And
knock on
Anthony.
effect.
And Anthony.
Anthony as well, yeah, had a knock on effect. So yeah, it's just I definitely I'd give him like I said, give him the summer, give him into next season. By January or February next year into the season, if it's not gone well, I'd look at now, but I'd definitely give Ten Hag the start of the season. Definitely.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm thinking if they were going to keep him, they would have just announced it. You know what I mean? Because it's just another level of shit to be dealing with that they don't need to be
And
dealing with. You know what I mean? And it's
at the same time as well, because you look at it, there's obviously we hear this from the British media that Sir James has met the likes of Tuchel and stuff like that. But I always say now, like this is the time of the season where they need to fill the back pages up. Like, how do we know it's set in stone that this happened? Obviously, listen, there has to be some sort of truth in it, but the British media are just trying to fill the back pages up. And one thing I actually wanted to say as well, talking about the British media, on 24 hours before the FA Cup final, they said no matter what the result is, that he was gone. Imagine as a manager, like he's aware of social media and the media, what they print. Imagine being a manager 24 hours before going into a cup final, and all these headlines are around you saying, "Oh, no matter what, you're gone." Like that's and go on and win and still win the cup and stuff like that. Was
Yeah, well, you see,
unbelievable
if I'm that manager, I'm cutting all those headlines out and I'm pinning them on the dressing room wall.
for motivation.
Absolutely, 100%.
Mm.
For me, I just think it's I think where the difficulty lies is obviously the world of management and coaching as we know it is changing.
Yeah,
They're now looking for head coaches who are not going to have as much influence as they had before. Their job
yeah,
will be to coach and manage the team.
yeah.
And they'll have a certain input into it, but not as much as they've had in the past. So certainly when you look at Poch, that was kind of the answer that Poch got at Chelsea, and he didn't like it, and that's why that all dissolved away. You know what I
Exactly,
mean? And I think the
exactly.
same with Tuchel as well. I'd say Tuchel probably met with them. I'd say he wanted more influence, and they said, "No way, this is not the way it's going to work."
Mm.
And he probably said, "Right, I'm going on holidays." So
Forget.
that's what happened there, I'd say. Now, the difficulty here with Ten Hag is, I suppose Ineos, while doing this review, probably had to be seen to be looking at other targets as well and not just turn around and go, okay, he's staying or whatever. And how far do you go down that list before you arrive at Eric Ten Hag? But the problem for me with Eric Ten Hag is he's been quite influential in terms of signings as well. So the problem that you have there is he going to be able to adjust to this head coaching role and not be as influential as he was? Because we know most of those signings that came in, whether they worked or didn't work, they were his signings.
Mm.
There was no one pounding them on him. He's Anthony and
Yeah.
whatever else came
Well,
in.
and at the same time as well, because managers have players that have played with them at different clubs and in different countries and different leagues, and like they perform well for them. But it's players adjusting to certain leagues, they can't do it. Like it takes a lot.
Mm.
So you can put a bit of that on the manager, but at the same time, the manager obviously is buying him in good faith, knowing how he performed before, but he mightn't be able to adjust to a league, and you can't really put all of that on the manager if you get me.
Yeah, I think where it becomes questionable is, I suppose, if you look at the Anthony transfer where it's 90 million or whatever it is, and you look at that and we know at best he was a 40 million quid player. Let's be honest
Mm.
here, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
And
without a doubt.
and they rallied up the price, and obviously
It's the
the
United
final
tax.
say kind of comes with the guy on the screen there to turn around and go, yeah, I want them. I don't care what we have to pay. And then you live and die by those decisions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So it's very, very difficult to work that out. But I think he will have a real difficulty in adjusting to just being, and I say just being, it's the Man United head coach, like, but
Mm.
just being the head coach and not being as influential. Because the talk is the way it's going to work is they will go to the coach and say, right, what position do you think that we need? They will go off and
There's
work on that position. They'll
yeah,
come back with a
exactly.
list of three. And
And
off
they said
those
it
three,
right.
the manager
Yeah,
gets to pick his 1, 2, 3, if
yeah,
you like,
read
and
that.
that's
Yeah.
how they go after it. So it's going to be very, very different and a huge adjustment even for him. And you can see a lot of clubs are going this way. We're going this way now. Edwards is back in, Hughes is in, all that kind of stuff. And now Arnie Slot's going to come in. He's going to be the head coach. And it's going to be probably a similar situation, you know what I mean? So for
Yeah,
some, it's
yeah,
okay because this is how they've operated. But if you've
yeah.
operated like a manager, like if you're a Mourinho or a Conte or an Eric Ten Hag or a Pep Guardiola or a Jurgen Klopp, that's a very different world to be operating
Yeah,
in. When
yeah.
guys above you are just talking down, just saying, "This is what you're getting," and like,
But
you know what I mean. And your influence is quite minimal, really. Like, you know what I
big
mean.
time. Like
You
when
know.
you look back, it's changed so much since Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex with us had say in everything. Transfers, this, that, and the other. He even had a say in where the lads lived. Lee Sharp had said it before. If he was moving house or buying a house or an apartment, he'd have to run it by Sir Alex Ferguson first. Like that's how much say this man had in the club. Like, and now there's hardly anything there.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, Ted. I think you can
Yeah,
see it at the moment how the pages are being filled up with
exactly.
teams that have
You're in.
placed bids for this and bids for that, and you're linked with this and you're
Yeah,
linked with that. And you
like,
swear, I said it the other day. I was talking to Dino the other day. We're on tomorrow night for a Shankly sessions. Dino's returning as well. And I
barely.
said to Dino, we'll talk about transfers, but to be honest with you, most of it is just absolute horseshit.
Did you see
And
that
to
one
the
about Flick and Manu that round? So I heard about that earlier.
yeah, yeah.
What are they
Yeah, what
like?
about the
What?
Galatasaray one? 25 million for McTominay and Wan
McDonald, yeah.
Bissaka. Like,
That's it.
seriously,
You're,
like, you know what I mean?
we're at that stage in the summer now. It's in
Yeah.
between the end of the Premier League and the start of the Euro, so they have to fill the pages up, and they have to
Mm.
get clicks on the websites and stuff like that, and it's all
Yeah.
just
I
bullshit.
think
Like,
once the window opens, and I think once some of these key players are in place in your backroom staff and stuff like that, the likes of
that's what
Ashworth and
I'm saying.
Barada and all that
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that, I think then you'll get much more clarity on what you're looking for and stuff like that. And
Well,
obviously, like this managerial situation just needs to be sorted. Like,
100%. Like Barala's coming in the 1st of July. God knows what's happened with the Ashworth situation with the court case and stuff like that. So that
yeah.
could be a little bit longer. But like I was saying, we need all the stuff above to be sorted out before we can get on with the summer and start thinking about players and manager and stuff like that. You know.
I'll say it's going to get worse before it gets better. Whole behind the scenes needs to be sorted, training area, etc.,
Yeah.
as well as the players. Yeah, this is. I think for United, this is absolutely top to bottom, and every level in between has to be addressed.
Yeah,
Like this.
and in fairness, I don't know if Morris saying, but we're after nicking the Arsenal physio and stuff like that,
That's right.
head of
Saying that, yeah.
physio and stuff. So that can only be a good move because of the amount of injuries we had this season. All's right, we have to like obviously Jim is looking at certain areas around Manchester to build a new training ground, but we have to improve the training ground we're in because for something like that to happen, it's going to take a few years to build a new training ground and state of the art
Yeah.
complex. So we have to improve what we have there already. Money has to be pumped into that as well. And obviously, the stadium, we've seen what a shambles that was. We were an absolute embarrassment. Meant to be one
Mm.
of the biggest clubs in the world. And lads running away from their seats because bleeding waterfall coming through the roof. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Fifth highest waterfall in the UK. Just put in there. But what about the other story that came out during the week as well? Was Ineos were planning on selling off their shares in Nice, and I was
Yeah,
thinking that's total opposite to what all clubs are doing at the moment. All
yeah.
clubs are now trying to pick up clubs and get
Mm.
partnerships with clubs under these umbrella group
Well,
type
I,
things.
I,
And
th-
also,
yeah,
why would you be doing that?
I think it was more so a fact if UEFA came out and said that obviously with Nice and United being in the same competition and under the same owners and stuff like that, there was something going on there behind the scenes and there was obviously talk about it, but I don't think there was any truth behind that rumor. If I'm being
I
quite
I think
honest.
I think the fact that it was yourself and it was City and stuff like that and all that, like they were always gonna buckle on it, and that's the way it
Mm.
was. Ted, United sign a prime Pele, Maradona, Maldini. Just fire that in the back pages. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Yeah, absolutely. This
And
is
we're
shades of the
and
Saudis with the wrestling, looking for the Ultimate Warrior and the Macho Man, isn't it?
you're right, Ted. We've been linked with Wesley Schneider again this summer, so I believe.
Yeah, no, it's
It is
crazy.
actually 4-0 to Holland now. Veghorst, 93rd minute. And that's
Yeah,
full
yeah,
time result.
don't get me started on coach and training. Too easy. These guys nowadays are getting pampered. David Kenny couldn't manage a slash. 4-0 finish, no big up das. Thanks for that. Madrid
Yeah.
bidding for Trent. Don't know about that. I think Madrid might have spent most of their money on Mbappe at this stage, I would imagine. Uh, I heard that good free transfer. I heard Kenny is coming in as the new starting keeper, Morris.
All these
There
comments
we
about
go.
Stephen Kenny.
At that stage, bro, we are getting so old. We are. We are.
Don't remind
Just
me,
not telling you. Acers Ineos has already sacked Ten Hag by mutual consent and are only waiting for England Euros elimination to hire Southgate. That could well be the case, but certainly be interesting. I suppose that the narrative on that is that if you've decided what the style of play is and you have all this backroom staff in and stuff like that, you don't necessarily need the manager there to be proceeding with, doing not doing the business completely, but progressing a lot of the business to the point where you can trigger it once you sort it. So yeah, there's interesting thoughts on that. Alan's in. I'd say they are selling these because they didn't realise how big the job at United is, and they need to put all their efforts into United, possibly. But see, the thing about that, Alan, is Nice could be a big part of United's recovery with the likes of players and Tadibo and all that kind of stuff as well. So remember, if you sell Nice off and you still want
Excuse me.
Tadibo, you're going to be paying an extra 20-30% on that player than what you
Mm.
would be paying if you're in that partnership. I seen a thing the other day where Nice were valuing Tadibo at 21 million when United made the inquiry. Now we know that Tadibo is way more than a 21 million pound player, so there you go. So, but that's interesting. I see all United supporters are leaving the club when Southgate gets the job. Um,
Aces more writes more headlines than Bleeding the Sun. This man.
Acers is the press. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. If Ten Hag goes, who would you want in?
I
Out of
haven't
who you know?
like I'm not Tuchel's biggest fan. Obviously, I'm not Southgate's biggest fan either. Um, like out of all the names, possibly Poch, but I'm not his biggest fan either. You know, I'd like to see Ten Hag get a run of it, but obviously, like you said, if they do decide to get rid of him, probably Poch. But just yeah,
Yeah.
I hope they give him the summer. I have hay fever and a sore throat from I
It's the hot
can't speak
weather,
to
cold
stuff all
weather,
week.
hot weather, cold weather. It just throws everyone off.
I've been so chesty for over a week now. I haven't been able to get rid of this cough. It's actually annoying. You know when you're talking to people and you just feel
Mm,
a tickle at the back of your throat and you're like, oh,
yeah, that's it. We don't have a whole lot to report on this yet.
yes,
I'd say today they were just doing submissions.
yeah.
So next couple of days will probably just be submissions either side and stuff like that. But news will begin to break out. Once we get that, we'll certainly be discussing it. But certainly going to be very, very interesting.
And
Ted's
no
in.
matter what happens, sorry, cause no matter what happens with the outcome of that, like City and the Premier League's like relationship is at an all time low, isn't it? I don't think there's any coming back from that. Like you know,
I think both. I think both are kind of tarnished a little bit, aren't they? Really, because it's this is a very poor message to be sending to the world of football that you have a club there who signed up, for the rules that are there for everyone
yeah,
between the majority voting and everything else and all those rules. And then when the rules don't fit the situation, you come in and you want to throw them on your head and you want the
mm,
minority to rule and all that kind of stuff and free hand and and whether they can prove whether it's competitive and all these kind of things remains to be seen and stuff like that. I do think on sometimes when they're talking about how this, keep this competitive situation in the Premier League, when they start talking like that, it's a load of nonsense. I don't buy into it at all. Just for me, I know you get your Leicesters every so often, and Jack Walker invested a lot of money at Blackburn back in the day and
yeah,
stuff like that.
big time.
But the reality, it doesn't really happen. It's a once in a, dare I say, a once in a blue moon. But there you
Yeah,
go. So, but we'll see what happens and see what comes out of this. The risk is, I think City have rolled the dice on this that if it doesn't go their way, there's a certain level of guilt that's shining on them and stuff like that. Because there's
yeah,
obviously some stuff in this where it's not the 115 charges, but could have certain ramifications for it and stuff like that and all. So, but we'll see what happens and we'll keep people posted on the podcast as soon as we hear that. What do you make of this? I wanted to bring this up. I thought this boy has been awfully treated and stuff like that, and his picture was literally on the back of every paper in relation to this Iceland defeat and stuff like that. And the kid only came on and played, I think, 20 minutes or 25
yeah.
minutes and stuff
He
like
only
that.
came on for the end. Yeah,
Everyone's been coming out supporting him, including Lewis Hamilton and stuff like that. And I think there is certain times where the printed media and the social media, the press media and all, they need to be taken to task sometimes on these things and all.
time.
They were making comments. They were talking about. I think they had to go off Mainu as well. But when they discussed him, they were discussing about him, and he didn't even play in the position they were discussing. So it's give me
It,
your thoughts.
like in fairness, you usually see this from the England fans and the press after a tournament. You know, they try to put it on the shoulders of a player, and obviously after the last Euros, it was Saka, Sancho, and Rashford for missing the penalties. And he's probably coming in here. He's had a decent enough season with Arsenal, probably not as good as the previous season that he had there. I think like the likes of Odegaard probably shone a bit more than him did last season, just gone. But yeah, I feel for the lad. Like you're what a week out of playing your first game in the actual tournament themselves, and your fans are booing you like that. It's it won't do much for his confidence. And like I said, he's going into this tournament after 4 years ago, whatever it was. he was the villain again after missing the penalty, and people forget about the performances. He had a great performance against Denmark in the semi-final and stuff like that the last time, and I just I felt for him. We're saying you just seen his confidence when he was walking off the pitch, and fair play to obviously Garrett and a few of the other lads that went over to him and stuff like that. But hopefully it doesn't affect his game too much going into the tournament, because even obviously, like, we always slag England and all, but you want to see the players that are playing in the Premier League do the best they can in these kind of tournaments,
It just amazes me. You look at that match the other night, and with the exception of maybe one or two players, most of them were shocking. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Let's be honest here. You know, I mean, okay, obviously, yeah, Palmer missed one or two chances and stuff like that, and all that he should have buried. Kane missed a chance that he should have buried. But why isn't Harry Kane here? Why isn't Harry Kane front and centre here, or
yeah,
whoever it is, Declan Rice or whoever it is, you know what I mean? Saka always seems to be the go-to guy to pin on the bad news. If England had a beaten Iceland the other night and Kane had to score a hat-trick, Kane would be all over the back pages.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So why aren't they going in hard on these senior players and stuff like that? Who there should
Exactly.
be an expectation on the likes of Kane and Kyle
I see.
Walker, Pickford, and players like that and all,
Exactly. Yeah. We're seeing Harry Kane with Prince William getting some award there earlier on today and stuff like that. So they won't get in like that on our Harry.
He's probably presenting him with the Bundesliga cannon for the top goal scorer, was he? Can you
Could have been.
imagine?
Could have been.
Imagine.
Could have been.
Imagine. Yeah, I just thought it was poor form, and I think a lot of people did and stuff like that. And I think the media have a duty of care here as well. Some of these guys are very, very young and stuff like that and all, And you have to be careful with these guys, you know what I mean? The way
Well,
they print stuff and all,
you want your players going into a tournament, mentally and physically prepared best as possible. Like, that's not going to do anything for his confidence, like I said, going into that. And he's already had it at the back of the last tournament as well. He's probably thinking, I can't catch a bleeding break here, and hopefully he can go out in the first game and like turn it around and maybe get a goal assist or whatever and shut those
Yeah.
fans up then.
You just shouldn't have to, you know what I mean? You just shouldn't have to. Like, it's not like they're not going out there on their best. Obviously, it was a poor result and stuff like that, but come on, they're only getting ready for a tournament. And as well, a lot of these guys are only operating at about 80% because they're not going to put themselves
Yeah,
in risk of
exactly.
missing the tournament. You know what I mean?
I
So,
was going to say, listen, if that was a result in the actual group in the tournament
yeah,
itself, you'd say, right, no, it's still not, still not right to
yeah,
do. But like you'd say, right, they probably have a bit more of an excuse to do it. But it's a
yeah.
friendly a week before it, lads. Come on, give up the ghost, will you?
Absolutely. Alan saying, give Harry Redknapp the job, lads. Tell you, if Harry Redknapp had the job, he wouldn't be putting up with that shit on the back
Give
pages.
it to
That's
Duffer.
for sure.
He's
Yeah.
in your head, Duffer.
Southgate will resign. Maguire and Evans and Jones all new contracts.
And Smalling. Don't forget Chris Smalling.
Smalling, yeah. English media preferred England to lose games, so they have a go at the players. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Mad that they don't get behind them. England supporters still haven't forgotten Saka missing the penalties. Got to move on. You know why Saka's getting the abuse? Let's not pretend. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And because he's young and talented. Yeah, big time. Big time. Right. Pep being interviewed the other day and he was asked about potentially going back to Barcelona and he ruled it out by saying that door is closed.
Yeah.
What did you make of this? Obviously, Barcelona are kind of in a financial quagmire kind of mess, if you like, trying to
Yeah.
sort things out. They've sold off so much of the crown jewels at this stage. They ain't got much more to sell off, to be honest.
And that's why they're only offering 8.5 million for Manu.
Well, it was 8.5 million and Rafinha.
Rafinha, yeah.
Yeah. So about 18 million.
Yeah. But like, you look at us offering, apparently we're going to be offering Neves or Benfica 100 million for Neves, and he's 19. He's like nearly the same age as Manu, and top talent, and Barcelona are offering that. That's an insult. Like, even if they offered 100 million and Rafinha, I wouldn't even sell him.
Yeah. And Palmer the other night missed two sitters.
Yeah.
Don't forget that as well. Barcelona doesn't bank account to compete with Real Madrid. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think. I think when he gets out of
He might
Man
take a
City.
sabbatical for a year, will he? And
He
maybe
might,
have a look then.
might do.
You know, like he did after he left Barca, and then he went to Bayern,
Yeah.
obviously, because Sir Alex met him in New York trying to coax him to take over from himself and stuff. But
I reckon he'd probably fancy something in Italy.
do you reckon?
Go win an Italian league, an Italian cup, and maybe pick up a European trophy with an Italian side or something. Because that would kind of mesh the CV nicely, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Or you could go to Wrexham, get them up to the Premier League, yourself.
Yeah. Well, he
See,
might
they're
end up
trying to
having to
get
do that
Gareth
with Man.
Bale
He
out.
might end up having to do that with Man City, depending on
Yeah,
how things
that's
go.
very
Anyway.
true. See, they're
Yeah.
trying to get Gareth Bale out of retirement there. Good out Wrexham.
Yeah. Yeah. Same interview the other night with Mourinho. And Mourinho was talking to us. I was just wanted to play golf.
Oh yes,
It was
sorry,
very
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
It was
The,
very
the,
good.
the Champions League game, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think he'll take another sabbatical and weigh up his options, and I think he's probably due a bit of a rest for a while. But imagine being the new manager, Flick. He's only in the bleeding door, and they're talking about Guardiola coming back. You're going,
I
all
have a
right, lads.
story here about Flick, by the way. Alan
Really?
made a good point there. They can't even register 9 of their players for the new season. Al, I read an article the other day. They haven't even registered their new coach and their new coaching staff.
No way.
Yeah, so forget
You won't
about
get that in
forget about
Portlaoise,
the
Shad. You won't
players.
get that in Portlaoise, would you?
That wouldn't happen in the League of Ireland. Heard Pep is taking over Celtic. Few more easy trophies.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think he'd
Dazzler,
fancy
Dazzler,
Glasgow team.
Dazzler be well behind that. Just saying here, Lewandowski went off in the 34th minute there with an injury. They strapped up his leg when he came off on the bench there, so
Mm,
that doesn't look good.
absolutely, and Spanish national team, not a bad show, not a
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
shout.
Be
But
shout
plenty of
out.
work to be
That's
done
one of your
there as
better
well.
shouts, Aces, in fairness.
There you go. Yes, lads. Hope you're well. Big up, Jack. Good to see you again,
How are
my
you,
friend.
Jack?
Tune in tomorrow night. Jack Dino's back on our screens. We're going to be doing a Shankly sessions, going through the Liverpool squad and everything and all. 9 o'clock
Did
tomorrow
Jack
night.
have exams this year? Or is he all done?
He may have. Well, he's close to being done by now if he does anyway. 10th of June, like so. Big up, Jack from Daz. So yeah, that one there. What do you make of? I wanted to ask you about this first of all. You seem to be linked with a lot of Crystal Palace players at the moment and stuff like that. I believe the Elise deal looks closer to Chelsea than it does Man United at the moment, from what I read. But again, it's such early days, and what you read is a
Yeah, and
few months.
obviously, Sir Alex was pictured in London, gone for dinner with Dougie Freeman, who's obviously the technical director of Crystal Palace as well, and obviously that will fuel the rumors even more for himself. But like he's some player. Like if you had Eze and Elise in there, like oh my god, man, um, he's just shown over the last few years. Like I think, am I right that Crystal Palace have 4 players representing the squad in the England squad? It's the most out of any Premier League club. I believe I read. I don't know. The lads might be out
Um,
something different in the chat.
yeah, they definitely. Well, they've Wharton, SA, Gahey, SA, Wharton, Gahey. I can't. I know. I was looking at the list earlier today of all the players that teams have. You want to see
Yeah,
Arsenal? Arsenal have a flood of players at the Europes. My
yeah,
God.
yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Alan saying, go ahead. Jesus Christ, Barca have players who are on loan coming back who seemingly have to be registered ahead of some of the players that played for them this season just finished. I know it's mad. It's madness. And yeah, it all seems to get
Don't
done. It all seems to arrive at La Liga and get done. I have
Ah,
exams near the
shit.
middle of June, then GCSEs next year. Big up, Jack.
GCSEs, yeah. Best of luck with
Yeah.
them, Jack.
No, you're correct. Palace have the most in the England squad. Yeah, good show.
Yeah.
Cheers, Ted. Cheers, Ted. So I mean, what you thinking? Are you gonna? Do you reckon you could see a couple of these boys at United next season?
Yeah, like I obviously you're looking at them this season, and I'd love to see them slot into our team and stuff, but it's all going to be dependent on how much Crystal Palace are looking for and how much Ineos can give us without, and obviously we have to sell players as well. So, um, I'd love to see him there, man. Like I said, Eze or Elise, I'd love to see come over to us. But obviously, if Chelsea are in with the running as well, it's one of those like they wouldn't have to move house, they wouldn't have to uproot, and this, that, and the other. So, It'd be an interesting summer, but yeah, I'd take them in a heartbeat. Yeah.
That's with a question for you. What's your starting 11 for England if you were Southgate?
Um, he'll probably
Pickford
obviously, yeah, Pickford and goal. Obviously, I had him in my Premier League team of the season and stuff like that. No Ben White or right full though, is there? Or left full?
Henderson was the other one. No,
Henderson, yeah.
Henderson.
Yeah, he was there as well. But obviously, he'll go with the likes of Stones and Maguire. Obviously, look at their midfield. They could have the likes of Palmer, Bellingham. You know, you're looking at it going
Rice.
Saka, Foden, Rice. Like, oh man, Jesus Christ! Like, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who he does play in the first game, because obviously the last two games he's going to mix and matching and having a look at sussing out players as well. And I'm nearly sure that I think they're playing on Wednesday. No, that could be their last game, was it? When
I
do they
thought
play
they
next week?
I thought they had one more game.
I'll check now. One of the
Maybe I'm
lads
wrong now.
tell us in the chat or
It's a much
whatever.
longer. Yeah, because they did. Everyone's playing two, aren't they? Two warm
Mm.
ups.
So
Yeah.
they
So
had who did they play before the Iceland game?
tell you now. Let's see what it is.
Let's see, can I get up here?
Maybe it's their last game, is it? Because when do they? Yeah, maybe it's their last game. Because
Yeah,
the tournament kicks off on Friday.
yeah.
Maybe it's their last game.
That's yeah. So I'm looking forward to it now, man. It's Friday evening. Actually,
Yeah.
talking to Harry Redknapp there, I think I seen Alan mention him there a few minutes ago. Was any of the lads in the chat watching Soccer Age yesterday? England won 6-3. Harry Redknapp and Frank Lampard were managing the England team, nonetheless. Yeah, we'll have to get them now. League.
The main story coming out of was Tommy Fury's throw-in.
Oh, did you see it? But like, I watched him last year. The lad can't kick a ball, and he done the exact same thing he did last year when he came on. He swiped at a ball, missed it, makes himself looking like an absolute toolbox, like, you know.
Yeah.
But your man Tom Grennan is very good, actually. And
yeah.
What was your man's name? There was a YouTuber or something. Your man Mini Minter or something. He looked decent enough.
Yeah. No, a few of them, because they do a lot of stuff, don't they? The sidemen and all.
Yeah,
They play a lot of football. They have
yeah.
I think they have these podcast leagues and stuff like that and all, don't they? So pretty impressive.
We'll have the upper tier 5-a-side league.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll do it. I have to do a League of Ireland special sometime, cause
yeah, absolutely. What do you make of Stuart Pearce's comments on Rashford saying he lacks personality?
he's not wrong. He's just you look at him a lot of the time over the season, and as a United fan, you just want to kind of kick him up the arse sometimes, because he always just looks moody and grumpy and stuff like that, you know. And obviously, there's a lot of pressure on him, a lot of media attention around him. That time he went over to Belfast, you know, to meet that club, and then he went out that night and he went on the Raz, and you hear stories about, you know, what he got up to and stuff like that. You know, he almost feels like he wants everyone to feel sorry for himself the way he looks sometimes, you know. So I personally, I think Shearer had a bit of a fair point to be made there.
I suppose you're talking about a guy who didn't lack personality.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Psycho.
Big up Daz. Yeah, Bosnia was the last game before him.
And just while we're talking about old players and all, I don't know if you have a slide or not, but just want to say everyone's thoughts and prayers, obviously, with Alan Hansen at the minute. We hear he's very ill at the moment in hospital, and obviously rivalries aside, he hopefully he has some sort of recovery, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, his comments on Grealish. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It must be true. Grealish is in the Ocean Bar in Ibiza with Mr. Wayne Lineker at the minute.
100%. Yeah, it's a tough one. I'll cover it tomorrow night on the show, obviously with Dino as well. But yeah, when I heard the news yesterday, it was tough to take. It was he's one of my heroes, Alan Hansen. I grew up with Alan Hansen, so.
But like, I think remember him and Mark Lawrence on Match of the Day, and you know, he used to be great. Like Des Lynam and the two boyos, and that was your Saturday night after watching Gladiators and all them.
Yeah,
Noel's fun house and all on Saturday, and obviously his comments about the kid, you don't want anything with kids and stuff, and but
yeah,
like obviously he's been out of the limelight for quite a while, and obviously he spent a lot of time in
yeah.
Spain and stuff like that, and
Mm.
yeah, we just hopefully he can have some sort, like I said, some sort of recovery, you know.
Yeah, I watched his interview there last night, the one where he was talking about Ferguson not picking him for the '86 team.
Yeah, yeah,
And he was
yeah, yeah,
talking, and he said he was talking about how he couldn't believe it, because obviously he was coming off he'd had a great season with Liverpool and stuff like that and all, and I think they just won the cup, hadn't they? The week that I think
yeah, yeah,
they just won the cup, and he was supposed to be meeting up with the team. They won the cup, I think, on the Saturday or the Sunday, and he was supposed to be meeting up with the Scottish team on the Wednesday. And he was of the opinion there was no way he could possibly be dropped. He'd had a great season and stuff like
yeah.
that and all. And Ferguson, he heard whispers that he was being dropped, and then Ferguson rang him to confirm it and stuff like that. And he said he still had a good relationship, and he said he still appreciated the fact that Ferguson rang him and told him directly and stuff like that and all. But must have been some shock to him as well. That '86 World Cup was unbelievable. Like,
And like you look at it, there seems to be a special bond with the Scottish players of old, you know, the likes of the Sounezes
yeah,
and obviously Alan Hansen and even like the likes of Gordon Strachan and stuff like that, you know, and they had some bonds. So I know a lot of the lads be worrying at the minute, all his former teammates and stuff like that. But yeah, just like I said, thoughts and prayers to him and his family and stuff, you know.
yeah, I mean he must be really bad. So we're hoping that he pulls through whatever it is and stuff like that. And obviously a lot of people were commenting on it last night on social media and stuff. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes over the next day or so. We'll certainly be getting a mention tomorrow night. There's no doubt about that.
definitely.
Huge part of my fandom for Liverpool and stuff like that. And what a player he was and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you know. So yeah, so our thoughts and prayers obviously are with Alan Hansen at the moment. Hopefully he pulls through. We're losing too many of these legends at the moment, and it's not good
Mm.
in any way, shape, or form and stuff like that, you know. So Morris obviously didn't get to come in. Morris, are you gonna come in, Morris? Are you gonna join us for it so we can salute you in? Or is the courtroom scaring you off maybe?
It probably
Um,
was. It probably was. He thought it
yeah,
was the
absolutely.
Chambers, the Commons, or something like that, you know.
Yeah, let people Marky know before we go anyway. Let them know about Longford and all, and if they want to go and see the United
Yeah,
Legends
lads,
and what's
if you are
involved
still in
and
the chat there and you weren't at the top of the top of the hour, as they say,
top of
I'm
the
going to
hour.
be in Longford on Saturday. It's Manchester United Legends against Longford Town Legends, and one of the United Legends was announced today. It's going to be a certain Andy Cole, or Andrew Cole, as he likes to be called. It's going to be down there on Saturday. He's going to be joined by Quinton Fortune. Frank Stapleton's going to be there. Mike Phelan's coming over to manage the team. Longford has some really good ex-players coming down as well, and they're going to be managed by a certain Stephen Kenny on Saturday as well. So I'll be with Stephen on Saturday. So I'll let him know about all the comments that were there. I might even try to show him the video and see
Few
what he thinks.
screenshots and stuff like that and all. Yeah, absolutely. But I tell you, so if you want to see Mark going up against Andrew Cole, because Mark will probably be in nets for one or two of these halves, I'd say maybe. Are you are
Ah,
you
you
are you
never
in
know. You
playing
never
capacity
know.
at all?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I am in training at
Yeah.
the minute, but I'm not saying anything. But I'll be down there on. There's like I said, meet and greet in the Longford Arms Hotel on Saturday morning. I think around 11:30, 12, and then the match is on 3:30 in Bishopsgate, Longford Stadium. So, I'm gonna be meeting Browner down there early on Saturday morning and stuff like that. So, I'll be down there about 10 o'clock. So hopefully get a few bits and pieces signed. Like I said, I mean 99 jersey up there already signed by Yap Stam, Dennis Irwin, David May, Wes Brown. So Andy Colby, a nice signature to add on to that now as well.
Mark is too clever to get involved in reffing one of these games. They're
I,
nearly
I,
worse than these
I
these derbies.
Keith Gillespie nearly took the head off one of my mates Keith when in the Minute game for not giving a penalty, but he was giving a penalty. He just didn't blow the whistle quick enough for Keith Gillespie, and he nearly took the head off me. Did so now I'm
Yeah,
staying well
yeah.
away from the whistle on Saturday. Ted,
What's the chances of Andrew Cole for the perfect hat trick?
you never know. You never know. Like Brown, I said before, Keith Gillespie's always one for getting goals. Like he scores 2-3 goals a game. But Andy Cole, this is the first game he's playing in over here as well, and Actually, just in the chat, like I said at the top of the hour as well, there's going to be a match in Ballyfermot on the Saturday, the 3rd of August, which is going to be a massive game. And the first legend was announced last week, and that's going to be Yap Stam. So that's going to be a massive game as well. There's a few names Brown has told me about that. I can't say yet. It's going to be massive.
Who wouldn't want to say Yap Stam in defence versus Ballyfermot?
I
Good
know
Lord.
that's it. Like,
There's a marriage made in heaven, huh? In
it's like that
hell.
story. Remember, Browner said here that one of the lads up north and nearly went in hard on West Brown. 5 minutes later, Yap Sam just upended him. So he still has it in him. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Ted wonders if you've been putting on any bets and stuff like that, like, or would you be in hot water now over that, you know?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But no, I'm looking forward. Like I said, I'll try to get a few shout outs for the channel, and I'll be obviously putting pictures up on Hogan Elite Trophy here on Instagram and on Facebook over the
We'll
course
pull
of the
them off
weekend
and
as well.
share them and stuff like that and all. Absolutely, yeah. So pleasure as always having you on. Good to get your picks for the Euros and all. And hopefully we'll have plenty of news for next Monday's game with our next Monday's show with Man City and this court case with the Premier League this arbitration. It'll be interesting to see how it progresses. And you never know, United might even have a manager by then. Let's see what happens, you know.
We already have one.
Yeah, one in situ, as they say. Yeah. But until next time, folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and drop a like on the video. We really, really appreciate the support as always. I'll be back tomorrow night with a Shankly Sessions, where myself and Dino will be making his return 9 o'clock. We're going to be going through the Liverpool squad, top to bottom, giving our thoughts on it. And we're also going to talk on all things Liverpool, including Alan Hansen and stuff like that. So make sure you join us for that. Wednesday, I'm back with Pro Wrestling Weekly. I think Russ might be joining me again, so we'll have a bit of crack on that. We'll be looking at Battleground. We'll be looking towards Clash at the Castle and all the other wrestling news that's coming out, everything in between. And on Thursday, I'm on with Dazzler as well. We're going to do our picks for Beat the Bookie for the Euros. Pick you out some value bets there, try and make you a few quid. And we'll be talking about all the latest football news and everything that comes up in between that as well. So stay tuned. So make sure you have that bell notification hit so you know what's coming up. All the shows are already up there, so you know when they're on. Appreciate everyone in the comments and in the chat as always. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.